This video is on the Kodak Photo CD player PCD 5870. I made it because it's our third Kodak Photo CD player, and they all experience the same issue. As they age, they can't read CDs as well as they used to. In the case of my units, they no longer can read a computer burned CD, and in addition, they're starting to not be able to read some commercial CDs. So I purchased a supposedly new old stock laser for this unit, and I installed it, and that's what's in this video. So if you do watch this long video to the end, you'll see how to replace the laser. But in this case, there was no change. The only thing I did notice was it acts identically the same as it did before, as though the replacement laser and the old laser, there was no difference. Then I went in and checked any electrolytic caps I could find with an ESR meter, and they appeared to measure fine. So I'm at the end of the rope on this unit. I'm hoping at the end people will make comments with suggestions. I don't know what else to do. And the CDs I'm using play in every other CD player in our house. The thing I noticed was in about 85, we bought one of these units, and it would play anything. And over the years, about the time that the single 870 player needed to have the tray greased, that's about the time it quit reading all CDs, and it happened slowly. That's why I replaced the laser, but there was no change. So partly I want to get the word out to help other people that if you buy one of these, in my opinion, the three I had, they're tired, and I don't know why. And if you have suggestions, please make comments. Thank you. This video is on repairing the Kodak Photo CD player PCD 8570. Incidentally, the laser reader inside this machine is the same as the Kodak Photo CD player 870, and inside this unit is this laser reader. Is it in focus? No. And this device is the CDM-9/44 laser assembly with the motor. I bought just the laser from a person in Israel. So today I'm just replacing the laser, not the motor. And the reason I'm doing this is we bought one of these units back in 85, and it worked great. It could read any CD we put in it. But as it aged, it stopped being able to read homemade CDs, computer-generated CDs. Then it started having trouble reading some of the commercially made CDs. This unit's doing the same thing. Supposedly it's a low-use unit, and it sure does look clean, but it would appear that either the lasers wear out from being used, or if it's a low-use unit, does that mean they just die from old age? I guess we're going to find out. The first thing I'm going to do is take the cover off, and it takes a Torx bit. And the Torx bit is one of these. The size is T8 times 60. I don't even know what that means. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm taking off the cover. Okay, so I've taken off all the screws. One of the things you'll notice on the back is right here. That screw stays in, but you have to pull the cover back just a little bit to get the cover to go up over it. And then the cover you lift it up, and it releases at the front. There's a little pry there pry, I don't know. It attaches to the front. So here's the inside. So now starts the fun, where we're going to disconnect all these cables carefully, and if there's a little latch, we'll pull out the latch. And then over here, this plastic lever, this has to come off, and the way I do that is to get in there and I compress the spring and then pull it out. And then there are, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 screws on the circuit board. I will pull those out and save them separately. The other thing we will do is on this front panel, that has some screws on the bottom. Those screws have to come off, and then you have to like pull these tabs away on the side, and the front will come off. And the reason we have to do all this is because the laser's in the bottom. So I'm going to start by pulling out these connectors. I could try to put the camera on the tripod. Let me see. The first thing I'll do is take this little plastic lever off. And I don't know a better way to do it than compress the spring and then pull the spring out. There's the spring. Then you drop it down inside. It's really fun. The reason we're taking the circuit board off is because we have to turn this thing over to get to the bottom laser. There's the spring. I'm going to try to keep the screws separate to help me to get them back into the correct place. So then, this piece, there's a little plastic lever here. If you push it in, this will slide up. And then that pulls out. Haha. So I'm going to start taking these cables off here. If there is a little tab, I release the tab. Most of them have tabs. ESD is a concern, so if you can, try to not shuffle your feet. Touch the case as much as you can. Our home is not overly dry. We do not have static problems here, but that doesn't mean that there's not an ESD risk. But so far I've never had a problem with home computer or home electronic repairs. This is a flex cable. It just pulls out. I rock it. In this plastic sheet here, it's just to protect the cable from the underside, from the circuit board sharp pins. So now I'm going to unscrew this board, and I'm going to keep these screws separate because there are a bunch of screws in here. and I can't. It's easier for me to keep them separated than to guess which ones go where, because some are slightly longer than others, but these ones I'm pulling out are all a screw for plastic. They are not machine screws, where all the ones on the cover are machine screws. And if you think it would help you, definitely take pictures before you take it apart. So I've taken off all the connectors. Now on the back, there's one screw on the circuit board that holds this connector. So I'm gonna, and that's a machine screw. I'm gonna take that out. I'm gonna put that with the same screws that go on the cover. And there's a plastic assembly that keeps the 3 RCA connectors in place. That comes out. So I'm going to take those screws out. They came, I guess I'll put them with the circuit board screws. So now I have 2 plates. Now this circuit board, I'm thinking it's going to come out. And I have one more screw. I keep picking up the wrong screwdriver. Now it will come out. And there's the plastic piece. And I'm taking it up gently because there's a flex cable that goes underneath. So I'm going to push this little tab in. This on the black protector cable. You know what? The black protector cable can just stay there. Alright, so the circuit board came off. I'm going to put it over on a safe place. So now the next thing we'll do is take off the front panel, and when we take off and you gotta move this cable out of the way, this, oh brother, way inside the machine, this little cable goes. Maybe I'll wait and take that off later. Right now I'm going to take off the front control panel, and there are more T8 screws. I'm going to move those to my third saucer. For some reason, these T8 screws had lock washers on them. Isn't that crazy? It looks like I did lose one of them. Well, okay. I think, and I don't think it's in the machine, I'm just going to tip it upside down. I lost it. It's gone somewhere. So then, at any rate, we'll turn this thing over and have it make funny sounds. And there's screws on the bottom. I even wrote on there, oh look at machine screw, machine screw. You might want to write that. The screws on the bottom are machine screws. That is definitely helpful to write on stuff, so that when you're putting it back together, these are 3 machine screws, you'll know. It just helps you to get it back together. So right here are these tabs you have to lift up. and also on the sides. And it seems like I have to, this is kind of an iterative process because it keeps grabbing. That one grabbed again. It seems to me, this front panel seems to want to stay on, and also the little tabs keep grabbing. And this connector has to come off right here. Glad I saw that. There is a tie wrap there. I guess you could have cut it. I'd rather take off the connector and have another thing in place. Now I'm thinking the whole thing has to come out. So I'm going to unscrew the plastic base. Boy, that's a long one. That'll be pretty easy to figure out where the long one goes. I did get some tweezers. The tweezers are helpful to grab these long screws. This is the second time I've taken it apart. Okay, so now the base is unscrewed. There's one more screw in the back. Now, in my opinion, this should come out. The front cover did come off. Now I'm thinking this should just lift out. Oh, it's caught on a little... Alright, so it did come out. Now, I've exposed the little power supply board in the back, and I can take off that little connector I told you about. And I'm pretending that I'll remember that it's there. So I'm going to set this down and move the base out of the way. This is the bottom of the CD player. Now we're going to move this little circuit board. It must be for controlling the CD player laser assembly. It's got another one of these flex cables. I will disconnect that and just 3 screws, and I'm keeping those 3 screws separate because for some reason they're slightly different than the other screws. And just curious, there are little marks on the circuit board that look like a star washer was there, but I did not find 3 big star washers, so I'm wondering if the circuit board's marked that way. But at any rate, I'm going to take that board off now. There's a flex cable in the back. I'm going to take that off now because it's easier while the screws hold the circuit board and just pulls out. So take these out with the correct Torx screwdriver. Man, it's tight in here. There is, I'm not bringing the camera around, There's another flex cable. Gosh, this is tight. There's a flex cable for the laser. Man, you can't see it, but I'm going to pull it out of the circuit board. Okay, scratch that. This is one of those plastic connectors that has the release mechanism. Release the release mechanism, then the flex cable slides out. I think I'm just going to leave that together because I don't need to take those apart. So now comes the laser part. I bought a new laser. The only place I could find it was Israel. So it literally came from Israel. And again, supposedly, it's new old stock and was bought as a spare. So hopefully I'm not going to find out the hard way that it's not the correct, that it's a good laser. Some people take these units apart for the laser. But any Kodak photo CD player I've taken apart, it needs a new laser, so I don't know what they're doing with them. So there's the new laser. I've got to take out the old one. There's a little plastic holder that slides in. I don't know how it comes out. Probably comes out the same way on this one. Okay, that wasn't bad. On the side, hard to see, there's a tiny tab. If you lift that up, then this will come up. And it did. Gosh, it's still tight. Okay, it came up. So now I'm going to take the laser out of there and put in a new one. And supposedly it's the same one, so we're going to find out. And it looks like this Torx screw is a smaller one, so I have to go get a smaller Torx driver. I had to get a T6 Torx driver. The reason I'm not taking this whole assembly out is I honestly don't know how I would get it out. And the motor's fine. It's the laser that's weak. There's the little piece of metal that seems to be spring-loaded, that's one side. There's the other screw. Now it's totally free. I'm just looking at that. Gosh, it almost looks like there's a little bit of oil on that. I think there is. So, what kind of oil is that? Darn. There's no oil on this. There's no oil on this one. More fun. Okay, so this is ready to come out. I do not know what this white lever is, but I'm leaving it there because I can snake the cable in around it. Seems to be. It's a tight fit in that piece of plastic. So I'm going to snake the flex cable around. I don't have any way to measure the laser. I don't have any way to look at it. Just from what I've read on the internet, the lasers get old and get weak. And on some circuit boards, there's a potentiometer where you can turn up the power to the laser, but none of these Kodak players, I haven't seen any potentiometer. So my only concern on this is, gosh, the old laser, there's oil on that, so I might add some oil. I won't click that in place yet until I get the laser in here. Just curious. Darn it all, it seems like there's a piece of metal that's moved out of place here. There. So I think I'll put in the long screw. And I'll just snug it. Then I'll pop this connector in. I think that's in there. Then the next, but now here's what I'm wondering. There's oil on that. I'm just going to see if any of it'll come off with a toothpick. I just want to see if there's it looks like there's quite a pool of oil there. I just want to see, will any of it come off? Alright, so I'm screwing things up already. There's a little ball there. Huh. There's a little ball on either side. So I'm thinking there. I'm thinking either something fell apart or I'm supposed to reuse that little ball. Well, isn't this something? The old assembly has a ball on it, which I think we want. So either that comes out. The little ball comes out. So, oh my goodness. Don't lose your little balls, or you're screwed. So I think they're the same. Okay, I'm going to put one ball on the bottom. And then I'm carefully putting this back in. And I'm thinking that it's on the little ball because I can rotate it. Then I'm going to put the second ball on the top. But I've done one of the things I'm famous for. I made it disappear. So the good news is I have the other assembly. How do I make things disappear? Oh, I didn't make it disappear. It's on the top. Isn't it something? I wonder if there's a magnet there or something. Alright, so now this one goes on the top. And each one had a hint of oil. Man, it's so hard to know what to do. Like, I'm sure it's a fine oil. I'm gonna go get some of my silicone oil for Lionel trains. I'm gonna put a dab on there. They did. I got some silicone oil. Supposedly it's for Lionel trains. I got it from Olson Toy Train Parts, and that business is gone. So if you wanted to buy it, I don't know where you'd buy it, but it's ultra lightweight silicone oil. So I'm just going to get a tiny amount on here. I'm going to risk taking this out if I drop the little bearing. Okay, that's nice, it stayed in the bottom. So I can't tell how much is coming off of here, it's not even a drop. So I put a little bit on the bottom. And I feel confident that it's on the little ball because it seemed to lock into place. And I put a little bit on the top, so for good or bad, I put on silicone oil from Olson's Train Parts. I'm going to put that away because we will not need it anymore. Okay, the new laser assembly's in. We're going to put things back together. The person that I bought the laser from said he bought it, he or she I guess, bought it for a super high-end CD player, and that the seller claimed he sold the CD player and didn't need it anymore, and that it was new old stock. So we're going to find out. And I don't know why this screw isn't starting. It wasn't seated all the way. It is spring loaded, so I guess it's possible that I have to press down on the spring. Okay, it did go in. The mechanical assembly rotates super easily. I'll snug these. Well, I think that's a good sign. Next is this lovely circuit board where this cable has to go in. And you're not going to be able to see because I have to turn it. Then I have to bring it around. Okay, I'm looking in there. The flex cable is in the socket, and I'm going to pull the little locking tab. I pulled it into the lock position, and now when I look at it, it couldn't be any more crooked than it is. So try that again. So I unlocked it. I unlocked the little connector. I almost fell over. Now I'm using the tweezers. There, oh man. I'll bring the camera down here. That's the white connector. Right now I believe it's in there straight, but there's that plastic lock on it that once you get it in there straight, you have to push the plastic lock down and you'll see that it's straight. You'll see that when you seat it, it bottoms out, and then you can tell when it locks in. And I can look across. I can look across the flex cable and see that it's parallel. So I'm going to push the top down and lock it in. And I push the little plastic lock on. And I just rocked it a little bit. It's tight in there. It's tight in there and it's parallel. So I'm saying that's ready to go back down. I'm just peeking in there one last time. We're ready to go. Oh, no, we're not ready to go. This cable connects here too. But I think I liked pushing it on with the circuit board screwed down. So I'm going to do that first. And I like the way that I saved these 3 screws by themselves. Then I'm not wondering are they the correct screws, because there are other screws that are shorter than these, and this circuit board takes 3 screws, and they are slightly longer than those other ones. And this is just finger tight. One of the things I've noticed about this plastic assembly is I've been careful with it. I've not cracked anything. But I've noticed on some of the Bose CD players, man, they crack like crazy. Okay, I pushed that in. I could feel it go in. It's parallel. It's in. Okay. I'm just going to turn off the camera and get the laser out of the way. Okay, now I'm going to put this plastic base back into the assembly. This plastic should not be here because it's a source of VSD. So how am I going to do this? Bring this over. Look at that. I bet I left that wire off before. So this is the bottom assembly. Hey, just for your knowledge, in here one time I saw a printing that said Philips. I don't remember where I saw it, but sure looks like this is made by Philips. Yikes. Stop talking. I'm not going to worry about, well, I should worry about it. I have to put this one cable back on. This cable goes to the power supply board. And it clipped in. Then kind of wiggle this into place. This cable, I didn't want it to tuck in there. I think I can put the front cover back on. There are all these little clips. I'm going to screw the base in just so I can turn it over. Pretty easy, they're the 4 long screws. One of the things I noticed on this assembly is the plastic parts are generously lubricated with a super lightweight silicone grease. And I don't know where you'd buy that. I have silicone grease, and I bought some from DigiKey, but it just says all-purpose dielectric silicone grease. So I don't know if it's all the same weight, but on these gears, man, they look, well, maybe that is just, maybe it's regular old silicone grease, but it's clear silicone grease. Man, it's wet. Like in there, that's wet. The place where the plastic mechanism slides, it is wet with silicone grease. So I guess if you did have a problem with the mechanism going in and out, Philips lubricated all the plastic parts with silicone grease. Okay, when I put the front cover on, there's the on-off lever over here. You have to line the on-off lever up in the front control panel. And because I've screwed the base in, I can tip this and look at it and see it's sliding on. Gosh, I think the front cover's on and the little on-off lever is lined up correctly. Probably I can plug this one in. I'm going to hold this circuit board with my finger. I can feel it flexing. Gosh, I think we're ready to put the circuit board on. Before I do that, I'm just going to screw on the front panel.
Rockport wind chill -23.
Wow. The battery died on my camcorder, but all I did was put in these 2 screws on the front with the star washers. There are 3 machine screws on the bottom, and then lastly there's this 1 screw on the back. That's all I did, so you didn't miss much of anything. So now it's time to put the big circuit board back in. And if you're wondering what I'm stepping over, there's a large collie in here who's our family companion. Okay, now the circuit board goes back in. The ribbon cable goes through the slot. I left the plastic shield there. This circuit board, that's nice, the plastic piece stayed on there. Wow, it wiggled right into place. And I can see that because the connectors are coming out the back. There's a metal, it's probably EMI shield on there. If that does come off, don't break the cable. If that does come off, the metal EMI shield is supposed to be on the outside to push against the case, the metal case of the CD player. I can't remember when I put it back together last that I put this here, but I'm sure that's got to go on that piece of copper. So now we can put this tray away. Now we're on the inside. I'm going to start putting these screws in. It's pushing against me just a little bit. I bet it's that piece of flex metal that I'm sure is meant to connect the outside case to these connectors for I'll just wonder, EMI, maybe, does it help to ground them too for static? I don't know. So I got the ground cable back on the circuit board. I'm not tightening any of the screws yet till I get them all in. I've never replaced a laser on one of these units, so, and the person I bought it from on eBay said it was a spare, never used, so yeah, I have to trust him. Supposedly, eBay indicated I'll have to pay a tariff, but none was expected, so maybe I'll get a love note from Trump later. I do not know. Okay, so there are 2 screws left. This plastic panel in the back takes some of them. Okay, so I have a little error already. I have to take the circuit board out because in the back that plastic assembly that seems to locate the RCA connectors, it has a little lever on it and the circuit board it's supposed to push it down, and I had it on the wrong side. There are a lot of screws here. It's hard for me to see them. And obviously I'm barely lifting it. Okay, so now it'll come out, and it sure looks like the circuit board goes underneath that little plastic tab. So now I can push these back in. Connect the ground. I'm going to put the screw in the plastic back locator piece now, because that's what I missed last time. Then I think there's another one right here. And there should be one more screw for the circuit board. I found the other hole. It was too close. It's right here. So there are all the screws. And I snugged them all. Now I'm going to put the connectors back in. This one oh, don't forget this one. Flex cable connector. So the ground's on, power supply connector, power supply to the front panel, control panel to the main circuit board, audio connector, this I'm going to put one of these in here now. This is the little screw, machine screw. I'm going to write on there. Okay, so we're ready to put the cover back on. Oh, no we're not. That plastic lever has to go on. Slides in, the lever holds it, then I just push the spring in and, man, keep a finger on it so it doesn't go flying off into the no man's land. Look at it, went in. So that's on, so now the cover can go on. These are machine screws. Try to get them to go into the original. It's going in kind of funny. Try to get them to go into the original thread. If you don't do that, or if you keep taking it apart, eventually you'll strip the sheet metal, and then you look like a bonehead. Seems to me there's one of these that does go in hard. I don't know why. These screws, I think they had some sort of mild Loctite on them. When I took them out, like thread locker. Oh, and the curious thing is sometimes I'll try a different screw and it'll go in nicely, so who knows. Look at that screw went in. That screw went in nicely, like I don't know if there's that's a boogered thread. Yeah, I think one of these screws has boogered threads. The screw goes in hard. So this is cool, there are no screws left over. I learned about putting in a laser and the little bearings that are on it, and added a dab of silicone oil. Well, I guess now comes the test. Okay, so here's the test. Good news is it lights up. Press the open button. So we have one I'll put in a commercially made CD, and then 4 and 5 I'll put in CDs I made. And I burned them slowly. These CDs work in every other machine we have. They work in our cars. We have, and then load. And it'll move it around. So then 2 I'll put in Enya. With the other laser, it would not read Enya. And it's a commercially made CD. And this is a CD from VFW. You'd think that they wouldn't be like a star. So we'll close it. And I'm going to use headphones to hear the sound. The first track it saw 17, the first CD it saw 17 tracks. That was a good sign. Second one it's thinking, oh brother. Oh, it saw 12. Third one saw 16. Okay, now 4 and 5 are the home burned ones. They're the ones that the other laser had trouble with. There are quite a few songs on there. Like one of them has 30. 25. That's a good sign. Boy, that's a good sign to start. I'll be so happy if this works. Five, it's thinking maybe this is the one with 30 songs. Man, doesn't look good. 30 songs, oh wow. Okay, so now it's gone back to 1. When I press play, the phono, man, it's loud. Okay, I can hear that. I don't know where the microphone is. So there's the first CD plays, so I'll stop that, and then I say next. No, stop. Disc, go to 2, go to 2, another commercial one, press play. This is Enya. The other laser would not play Enya. It says track 1. Looks like we're repeating the same thing. Poop. It won't play Enya. Enya's a commercially made CD. Poop. So no change. Huh, that stinks. So I'll say stop. It's so lost it won't do anything. Go to the next CD. Press play. Okay, it's playing the third CD, which is also a commercial CD. We'll stop it. Go to the next one. Caught on track 1. Alright, it's not playing that one. Darn, stop. Go to the next one. Play that. So it looks like it's something, darn it all, poop. Stop, can't even stop it. So it looks like it's something with this box. I'd call it defective from new. Well, the next thing I'm going to try is, oh brother, taking that laser out of here and putting it in our Kodak 5870 player, and we'll see if that makes a difference. Well, I tried. It would have been cool. It's a CD player that plays most commercially made CDs.